Greetings and welcome to this episode of the Conscious Business Coffee Break, where we take a few moments to explore what's happening in the conscious business movement, expand awareness, and encourage your efforts in conscious business. I'm Stephen Donaco of the Conscious Business Enterprise, a division of Humanities team, and on the program today, we're going to talk about conscious businesses as movements in their own right. And what inspired me to embark upon this as the topic today was an article in The Guardian about veganism, which you might wonder, well, what does that have to do with business? This is, and I'll put a link to this in the comments to the video after I finish, but it's a really long and very comprehensive article about how the market is responding to this perfect wave of the interest in eating a plant-based diet. And the article is really very multidimensional in the sense that it's not just about the traditional or reinforcing the traditional stereotype of veganism as like a militant, angry movement, but really it's about how the vegan movement in a lot of ways has matured and is becoming much more conscious itself, and how business is responding to that. So for instance, there's the recognition that in the quest for someone to take on a more plant-based diet, that it's a process, and you know, it isn't necessarily something that people just all of a sudden decide to do and kind of go cold turkey, right? Pardon the pun there, by the way. But there's this idea of being flexitarian, where people gradually make a switch from animal-based diets to plant-based diets. And I can tell you in my own experience, and I eat primarily plant-based. I consider myself to be vegan, also understanding that because I do eat out on occasion, as much as I really make the conscious effort to avoid animal products, I would know that in some cases, like if I'm eating a pastry or a bread, there might be something in there, right? So it can be challenging to completely say, yeah, I'm altogether 100%. So I try to be realistic about how I categorize myself. So in the sense of a flexitarian diet, you might have somebody who takes 1 day or 2 days a week and eats plant-based. That's how I started. I started just as like having a vegetarian day many years ago, and then eventually worked my way up to where I am today. So this article recognizes that people are not, they're going through this process of becoming plant-based, and as they do that, there are restaurants, there are food companies, there are businesses that are recognizing and honoring the fact that people often start as what we might call flexitarians, and there's a whole bunch, there are other reasons for that as well, right? Because in business, or as people consider changing their diets, changing their lifestyles, they, in a conscious way, they consider what is their impact? The impact on the environment, the impact on animal welfare, the impact on community, the impact on their family, the impact on their health. And the companies that are responding to serve people who are going through that process are doing it in a very conscious way. So one of the things that's become popular and actually has been improved over the last many years are versions of foods that typically would have been animal-based, but now are completely plant-based. So we have these faux meats that come out. There are faux cheeses that are plant-based, and it used to be that these weren't necessarily the most appetizing products, but they've become much better as time has gone on. And Miyoko's cheese is one of these products, and I'll put a link to an article with the CEO of that company, who talks not only about her passion for being more plant-based, but that she, as a woman, has had challenges just getting funding for her company in the traditional venture capital market. So, this movement, right, of becoming more plant-based, in her case, overlaps with the Me Too movement and dealing with the obstacles of being a businesswoman, working in a very male-dominated sector of venture capital and needing to raise money to grow her business. So the article that I'll put the link to talks about her story and how she has really remained steadfast, having the passion for the movement of being plant-based, and also a very beginner's mind in her business, where she isn't all about being a victim in this, but that she's like, you know what, I know what I can do. I understand my strengths. I understand my potential. I understand my skills. And that's what I'm going to use in the market and in my business. And as she's done that, she has been able to raise more money. She hasn't let the stereotypical thoughts and feelings and attitudes define her. And this is the other thing about what conscious business is all about, is that we get beyond old patterns, old stereotypes, and old ways of thinking that really don't serve us as individual business people or consumers, or as humans on this earth. So again, I'll put links to these articles in the discussion thread for this video today. And then as we close, just to give you a little bit of a preview for Friday, I'm going to talk about the media business, and particularly here in the United States. There's a big company called Sinclair Broadcasting, which has layered its conservative views across all of the stations that it owns. And the thing I'll talk about on Friday is, can you have a conscious person work for what we might consider to be a non-conscious business? So that's going to be a preview for Friday's program. So in the meantime, my thanks to Fluid Coffee Bar here in Valparaiso, Indiana, for providing the venue. And we'll see you again on Friday, 9 a.m. Central, here on Facebook Live. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.